It came suddenly from her past. As her marriage fell apart, her sister suffered from depression and alcoholism. As she was trying to understand why her mother had a mental breakdown. Helen McConigal, a 48-year-old lawyer, was sitting alone in her quiet house in Connecticut when it happened. Flashback to when she was just 6 years old, revealing a long, repressed memory of the Irish Catholic priest who fondled, then raped, then sodomized her.
I was just trying to think and relax and settle down, and that's when it hit me.
What hit her was the memory of a monster dressed in white, Father Brendan Smith, at the back sliding glass door of her bedroom, dressed in white priest robes, who for nearly 2 years would abuse her, her sister, and even her own mother.
A priest basically breaking into you and your sister's bedroom? A priest taking your sister out into the woods? A priest literally holding you down in your bed, turning you over, and just raping you? This was a violent attack against your childhood.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, the way I think of it now is all I wanted to do was escape, to fly away. There were little cubbies in it was a twin bed that had a headboard with little cubbies. I just wanted to be tiny enough to hide in those little cubbies so he couldn't see me.
Brendan Smith died 12 years ago in an Irish prison, but the victims, in the dozens across 2 continents, like Helen McConigal, are living reminders of the crimes of this pedophile priest at the center of a sex scandal in the Irish Catholic Church. McConigal, looking back on her life, now believes Father Brendan Smith raped her, her sister, and even her mother, driving her mother mad, driving her sister to suicide.
My mom was found hysterical on our front lawn, half naked, screaming, "The Pope owes me," acting like she was a rape trauma victim. I mean, that's basically what it says to me. I believe Smith attacked her. I believe that's what caused her breakdown. You have to understand, my mom was also a devout Catholic. Her brother was a seminarian, and my mom was offered a full scholarship to Notre Dame and turned it down because she felt that she should never take anything from the church. So for the same person to be on the front lawn saying, "The Pope owes me," she was really mad.
By the time he reached Helen and her family, this smiling Irish priest had already abused dozens. Records dating back to the 1950s show Smith was moved from parish to parish, Ireland to Scotland to Wales to Northern Ireland to Rhode Island to North Dakota, each time under a cloud of suspicion or worse, after a family came forward to report the priest was an abuser.
4 kids in one family in Ireland, you know. Brothers and sisters, sisters and sisters.
You, later in life, obviously, approached your sister about it. She couldn't handle it, huh?
She couldn't handle it because I think she was asked by my mother not to say anything. I mean, this is something that she probably swore to my mom that she would never bring it up.
Helen's sister, Kathleen, took her own life in 2005. The Irish Catholic Church is now dealing with an unprecedented crisis after a 3.5-year government investigation ended with this report, the Murphy Report, revealing 3 decades of child sexual abuse being covered up by the Catholic Archdiocese in Dublin. 4 Irish bishops have already resigned. Irish Bishop Joseph Duffy, whose own diocese is dealing with its own abuse and cover-up, admitted to the press that the very future of the Catholic Church in Ireland is at stake.
I would admit quite frankly what everybody else knows, shouting from the housetops, that the Church has been seriously wounded.
In her Connecticut home, Helen McConigal is dealing with her own crisis. Once repressed memories of Father Brendan Smith now haunt her. She is suing the Catholic Diocese of Providence, Rhode Island. The church is already paying for her therapy. She says 6 others from her parish have come forward to say they too were abused by Father Brendan Smith, including one of her childhood friends, a neighbor. What she wants most of all from the church, she says, is an apology for destroying her family and an acknowledgement that the church knowingly placed a pedophile into her parish. So far, she says, she's received neither.
Do you think anybody feels bad for what happened to you?
I think that they are so hardened at this point that they've lost that sense about them, that compassion, that empathy. They're just hoping that we go away, we die off. There's many of us who haven't survived, like my sister, and that they can contain the problem and protect the institution of the church. It's a brotherhood of priests, and that's what it is. It's not a spiritual organization.
The Catholic Diocese of Providence, Rhode Island, declined our request for an interview, citing pending lawsuits. And Smith's superior in Ireland did admit that the church here in the United States knew nothing about the allegations of Brendan Smith when he was sent over here back in the 1960s. Still, the records show the church in Ireland knowingly even enabled Brendan Smith to prey on children for nearly 5 decades. Drew Griffin, CNN, Atlanta.